Here's kind of a real world scenario of preparedness, and what I want to talk about. Was going to work, was rear-ended, and turned on my phone, so it may not be the best recording, but here are some of my thoughts in that situation about preparedness and the things that I had on me. Hey guys, I'm just going to try this out. Maybe we'll start the video off like this. Traveling to work and I am rear-ended. So we're kind of pulled off on the side of the road, but what I wanted to talk about specifically is being prepared. And that is, I've got my trusty bag here with a bunch of stuff in that. I might have to tie my exhaust or my muffler up to the car. So I've got some cordage for that. Also, again, on my way to work, so I'm not decked out in layers. So I do have layers in the trunk. This is one of them. I've actually got a coat in the trunk, but it's a little bit chilly getting out looking at the car today. In fact, it's been a lot colder than normal. And so this is just helping keep me a little bit warm. Of course, I've got some gloves. That's in the bag there. When it initially happened, it was pretty dark, so flashlights came into play a little bit too as well. So sometimes when that preparedness doesn't just come into effect when you think, or when you're going out to, for example, the mountains, you know, you're going to be very prepared. But that preparedness level should be there when you least expect it, i.e. in this case, going to work. You know, it's just a simple commute back and forth. I shouldn't need any of this stuff, right? Well, you never know. Again, not a dire situation, of course, but a lot of these things have helped make this situation much more comfortable and doable. So just a quick thought on the preparedness and how it needs to be implemented in your day-to-day routines. Gotta love Bangor Highway. Another aspect that I find very helpful in a day-to-day use, but in a situation like this as well, is the ability to charge your phone while in the car. Today, these phones do so much and they're really great, but the batteries on them just kind of suck, and I don't know where to look for my camera. But so specifically what I've done is just have a cigarette lighter in here to charge the phone. It's very convenient day to day. But the reason I got it was because I had family that went through a hurricane in Texas, and I can't remember which one. But one of the way they were charging their phones is via the vehicle, because they didn't have any power, so they couldn't do it that way. Which brings me to a kind of a second option. This is the Goal Zero. This is a little power pack that I can use to charge my phone. And also with that, so I just, normally I'll keep that charged up, but I also have this, and I'll probably do a review on it. Again, not necessarily for this case, but being prepared for whatever comes up, in which this case falls into. You never really know what you'll need this stuff for, but that's another thing that I always have on me, or at least in my car, to help mitigate situations like this. Because of the phone specifically, what I've been doing is a lot of phone calling between insurance company. My brake line has actually been severed, so I can't drive it. So I'm waiting for the tow truck to come, and of course I need my phone to make this a lot more convenient. One thing that I'm finding the bag is really coming in handy for is all the stuff, the miscellaneous items that I have in my car that I don't want to leave in the car. I've got all that stuff gathered up. I've got it placed in the bag so that when the tow truck arrives, when they take the car, I've got everything I need in the bag and I don't accidentally leave something in the car. My work phone, and maybe I should leave that in the car. My work badge, which I use. So there's actually 5 security checkpoints that I have to go through to even get to my desk, using my badge to access those. So it's a pain if I don't have that. Again, maybe I should leave that in the car. And just other things, gun equipment that I have in the car that, of course, I don't want to leave in there. Some extra mags, that sort of thing that I have stored in here. It goes in the bag. So from that perspective, one thing I never considered a bag would be nice for in the car. Now, I'm glad I didn't have to use this next item for myself or for the other driver that rear-ended me. But I do have, this is my first aid kit. I always take this with me in the car. Do I keep it on my person? No. But I do always have it in the car. I think I showed a breakdown of this. I'm not sure if I did or not. Anyway, I did come across an accident. This was years ago. The vehicle had rolled actually end over end. The mother was unconscious, and there was a, gosh, he probably had been 3 years old in the back of the vehicle, hanging upside down in the car seat. And thankfully he was buckled in, but he did have a big gash on his forehead that was bleeding quite profusely. Head wounds will do that. But so you never know when you'll need this stuff. Even just for, you know, being out with my kids, they're going to drop, scrape their knee, that kind of a thing. So just having that, again, from the day-to-day basis is just nice and convenient. Had this situation been more serious, thankfully it wasn't, as far as, you know, gore and all that kind of stuff with the accident, that definitely would have come into play. I would end the video with this. It's just very important to be prepared, not only at this small level that I'm demonstrating, but on a much larger level as well, for very unpredictable things that might happen in your area. And what I'm thinking of specifically is natural disasters, earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes, whatever it might be in your area. But being prepared is, boy, I tell you what, when something happens and you are prepared with the things that you need, it makes a world of difference to help make that situation go much more smooth than otherwise it would. Thanks, guys, for watching. I always appreciate you guys. See ya.